Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so when you said a restaurant she ended up working at, it made it sound like it was a surprise, but you actually took a date to that restaurant.
Yes, so
All right.
what ended up happening was my date of the night ended up actually choosing the restaurant.
Really? And
But
you knew that your ex-girlfriend worked there. Why didn't you say to her, "Nah, I don't want to go there. I've had a bad meal there"? Weren't you worried about showing up there and seeing your ex-girlfriend who just dumped you 5 days ago with a date?
I was worried a little bit.
Or
but
were you looking forward to that?
I was also at the same time hoping to get
her attention.
Her attention, yes.
Yeah. In fact, when you walked in, what was it you told the front desk before they sat you?
I ended up asking the front desk if we could sit in her section.
Ah, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. And then what happened?
And then Lena ended up acting like she didn't recognize me, so I exchanged the courtesy, just acting like we didn't know each other, and my date and I ended up eating quite a bit. We ended up ordering the $450 bottle of Merlot, which I had heard was a very good wine.
From me.
From you, what does that mean?
I had told him before that I had got to try it. It's
okay.
Really
so he did that on, so what your point is he did that on purpose.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And after the bottle
He knows how to pack a punch, I'll give him that. Go ahead.
After the bottle ended up being served, my ex, Lena, ended up spilling the bottle.
Have did she spill it? She took it and poured it on you? I don't know what you mean.
No, so my date at the time ended up asking to have her take a photo of us.
Your poor date. Does your date know that that was your ex-girlfriend of 5 days ago?
No.
And that it's all a big charade to get her attention and that she was a pawn in the play? She's gonna know now.
She was not aware at the time, Your Honor.
Is she aware now?
Yes, Your Honor.
When did you tell her?
After just the fiasco of my entire suit getting completely ruined.
Then you told your date? Like right there at the table or later?
When I ended up taking her back.
What'd you tell her?
I ended up telling her that, I think that she might have done it on purpose to ruin the date because it just.
Because she dumped me 5 days ago?
Yeah.
You said that?
Yes.
And what was her reaction?
Her reaction was that she didn't seem all that thrilled.
Reaction to Evan admitting he went to the restaurant where Lena worked. Okay, now we are already past accidental awkward dinner territory. Evan didn't just randomly end up at a restaurant where his ex happened to work. He knew she worked there. He knew the breakup had just happened 5 days earlier. And he still showed up there with a new date on what would have been their 1-year anniversary. That matters because courts do not look only at the final incident in isolation. They look at the surrounding facts. Why were you there? What were you trying to do? Was this normal behavior, or were you creating a confrontation? Evan may be suing over the wine, but his own setup is starting to damage his credibility before the spill even enters the story.
About being there.
Did you go on a second date with her?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I didn't think so. All right. All right, so let's go back to the spill, all right?
Yes.
What exactly happens? Your date asks
Lena here to take
a picture of the two of you.
Yes.
And then what happened?
So Lena ended up reaching for my phone, and instinctively I went to grab it because it was just kind of a shock of her just going straight for the phone instead of asking for the phone. And in doing so, she reached back in a jolt and knocked the bottle over onto me in the suit.
Are you saying that it is her body that knocks over the wine?
Yes. And then after it falls onto me, it falls onto the floor, breaking, in which case I then had to pay for the full bottle.
And not drink it?
Correct.
Okay.
I thought that the bottle would have been comped because she was the one that knocked it over, and...
Did she say, oh goodness, I'm sorry?
From my recollection, she did not.
Okay.
Coming up on Justice for the People.
He is the one who knocked over the bottle.
Yes, the wine rolled off of the table after he spilled it on himself.
According to you, her arm hits. According to her, your arm hits.
Reaction to him asking to sit in Lena's section. There it is. That one detail changes the whole temperature of the case. Asking to sit in your ex's section is not passive. That is not, oops, what a coincidence. That is a deliberate choice. And in a courtroom, deliberate choices can become powerful context. Evan is trying to frame himself as the victim of a malicious wine spill, but the judge is clearly noticing that he walked into the restaurant looking for reaction. It does not automatically mean Lena spilled the wine on purpose, but it does mean Evan's hands are not clean emotionally. If you manufacture the awkward situation, then ask the court to rescue you from the consequences. The judge is going to have questions.
And later,
I never dealt with such situations like that before. I didn't even know at first.
Objection? I don't know where you think you are.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Emmy-nominated Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with the case of Evan Brooks. We're suing Lena Martinez for negligence.
Ms. Martinez, take it away.
From my perspective, I broke up with Evan because he was a terrible boyfriend, and the last straw was that 5 days before our anniversary, we don't even live together at this point, I was cleaning up after him in my own apartment and thought, I don't want to do this. I don't want a 1-year anniversary with this person. He took it really hard.
What were your complaints about him as a boyfriend?
We never went anywhere fun together. Like, he was taking this woman out on this big steakhouse dinner, and that was their first date. And I feel like we had never been out on a date like that, and he's buying her the bottle of wine. You never
Talk to me, not him. Go ahead.
He buys her this bottle of wine, but he would never do that for me.
Right.
The one time we did go on a trip.
Reaction to the date being used as a pawn. This part is rough, because now there's a third person caught in the middle, who had no idea she was walking into someone else's breakup theater. Evan's date thought she was going to dinner. Instead, she became part of a revenge performance staged 5 days after a breakup. That is not just messy, it affects how the judge reads Evan's motives. Was this a normal first date that went wrong, or was this a calculated attempt to make Lena jealous? And if the whole night was designed to provoke emotion, then Evan has a credibility problem. The court is not there to referee hurt feelings, but hurt feelings often explain why people make terrible decisions.
A 2-day trip was for his cousin's wedding, which is how he got that suit, because I bought it for him for that wedding.
Why were you buying him a suit? Why didn't he buy his own suit?
He didn't have the money for the suit that he
But he
wanted.
had the money for the Merlot. And when you say he would never buy that for you, you do understand that he bought that Merlot that night precisely for you, right? Just not for you to drink.
Not for me to drink.
But for it to hurt you.
Yes.
Right. So I have a question. When you realize that the guy you dumped 5 days ago is there with a date, and did you know he had asked for your section? When did you learn that he had asked that?
Afterward.
After everything, after the whole fiasco? Okay. So you see that your ex-boyfriend is there. Why don't you just ask the restaurant to, switch you with someone else for that table?
I knew he was trying to get to me.
Right, I know. That's why I'm saying, why don't you just, because that's the way to neutralize his attempt.
I wanted to show him that even if he's not going to be mature, I can be mature, and I was just going to serve
honey,
him.
why would you put yourself through that? The best revenge is to not care. So the best move you can make is to remove yourself from the discomfort, and that's it, In any event, let's talk about what does happen. What happened with the wine?
He had been antagonizing me for an hour and a half at this point, finding extra tasks for me to do.
Yes. Right.
Right. So I obviously was feeling like it was getting a rise out of me, but not letting it, and trying to stay calm. What happened was she asked for a photo, and I don't know if it's just the familiarity of his phone. It's on the edge of the table. I said, sure, and I just put my hand down the nearest phone and went to pick it up. And what actually happened was he reached for the phone in a big lunge, and it makes sense to me why he would do that, because he has been very secretive. And so I imagine...
You're not going to stand there as a waitress who's been asked to take a picture and scroll, and then there's no... Right. And then what did he do? He went in and did what?
He went in...
Clarifying the legal issue after Evan describes the spill. Now we finally get to the legal core, negligence. Evan has to show that Lena caused the spill and that her actions directly created his financial loss. But listen closely to the mechanics. The phone is involved. The bottle is on the table. Someone reaches. Someone reacts. The bottle falls. That means this case is going to turn on tiny physical details. Whose arm moved where, who startled whom, and whether Lena's conduct was careless or whether Evan's own reaction caused the damage. This is why courtroom storytelling matters. It is not enough to say, my suit got ruined. He has to prove that Lena is legally responsible for ruining it.
To grab the phone, so I instinctually stopped reaching, and as he grabbed the phone and snatched his hand back, he knocks over the wine toward himself.
So your testimony is that he is the one who knocked over the bottle?
Yes, the wine rolled off of the table after he spilled it on himself, and it would not have been safe to serve them the wine with the broken glass.
Because the
tip broke off.
The tip broke off.
But
I'll tell you what, if it was my house, I would have taken a sieve and poured, I wouldn't have let go of $450 of Merlot, but that's just my house. Did you ever tell your boss that was your ex-boyfriend? I'm just curious.
At that point, yes, because I thought, oh, he's gonna cause a sting.
Right. No, you were smart to take the sting out of it and go in first and explain things. So now you're suing for $899, which is the value of the suit she bought you. But you're right, it's your suit. And the value of what else? The bottle.
Just the bottle, yes.
Yeah. And how are you going to prove your case? Because when you come into court, you're the plaintiff, so that means you have the burden of proof. You have to prove by a preponderance of the evidence. That means it's more likely than not that your version is true and not her version, okay? I know that you are petty as hell, okay? And I know that she was hurt. So it could go either way. I have no idea who pushed the bottle of wine. But I know that you're the guy who set everything in motion. And I know that you're the guy who grabbed the phone. Why are you grabbing the phone? Let her take the phone. What's she going to do? She's not going to read your phone for hours. She's just going to take a picture and go down. You can go on with your merry, horrible thing that you're doing. Out of spite. Why do you grab for the phone?
It was just out of pure instinct.
Okay,
I was just not
all right.
expecting.
So you're there out of pure instinct to hurt her. You're there out of revenge. You're having an $800 meal where you know that the reason she jumped you is because you don't pay attention to her or spend, any time with her or do romantic things. So you're doing it with a woman you just met, and then you're the guy grabbing for phones. And according to you, her arm hits. According to her, your arm hits. How are you going to prove your case? I'll tell you what. I'll take you out of your misery. You're not. Verdict for the defendant.
All rise.
Judge Millian has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.
I'm glad she got away from you.
That was supposed to be your dinner, at least.
Okay. Exit this way, please. Make sure you grab all of your belongings. Ladies first.
Coming up.
Literally got a tea kettle that he's pouring on the...
Boiling water on my windshield.
Okay, no.
And it shatters.
This is Physics 101.
You're watching Emmy-nominated Justice for the People with Judge Millian. Derek Fremont claims his windshield cracked when his ex-roommate poured boiling water over it.
Reaction to the mellow detail and emotional motive. That mellow detail is brutal. Lena says he never treated her like this during the relationship, yet suddenly he is spending big money in front of her with someone new. And the judge catches the emotional subtext immediately. He did buy the wine for Lena, just not for Lena to drink. That line matters because it exposes motive. Evan's purchase was not just about dinner, it was a message. In human terms, that is petty. In legal terms, it weakens his position because it suggests he came in looking to provoke a response. The judge is not saying Lena can spill wine because she is hurt, but she's definitely testing whether Evan created the storm and then complained about the rain.
To remove ice. Jay Connolly says the plaintiff asked him to get rid of the ice, and he was doing a favor that he thought would work.
Okay, Mr. Fremont, you were suing Mr. Connolly for $1,000 in property damage to your windshield. How do you two know each other?
We were roommates in college.
Okay, and how long ago was college?
Your Honor, that was 3 years ago.
All right, what happened?
So we were going for a New Year's Eve party up in New York. I'm from New Jersey, and so he flew in from California to New Jersey. And on that trip,
Where'd you guys go to college?
Went to Syracuse.
Okay.
In upstate New York.
Yeah.
And so he met me in New Jersey, and we drove up on New Year's Eve day up to New York. And on that morning, I asked him to clean off the windshield of my car, and he did so. I didn't think anything of it. So we had a night out together with some of our college friends, and that next morning we woke up. I asked him to, again, clean off my windshield.
Why don't you do it yourself? I'm wondering why you're, hey, clean up my windshield. Like, I'm wondering.
Legal explanation of burden of proof. This is the most important legal moment in the first case. The judge explains preponderance of the evidence, which basically means Evan does not need to prove his case beyond all doubt, but he does need to show that his version is more likely true than Lena's. Think of it like a courtroom scale. If his side is even slightly heavier with believable evidence, he can win. But if both stories are equally possible, he loses because he is the plaintiff. That is the risk of bringing a case based mostly on competing memories. If there is no video, no neutral witness, and both people have reasons to be emotional, the judge has to decide whether the plaintiff actually met the legal standard.
Why?
I had to take care of some things, and so it was just an act of friendship. I asked him to do it, and he did it.
So what happens then?
That morning, he is dumping boiling, extremely hot water on my windshield.
No.
And it shatters.
Okay, wait. Where did he get the boiling water?
From an electric kettle inside of my house.
So he's literally got a tea kettle that he's pouring on the...
Boiling water on my windshield.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Connolly.
I was not aware of this. I never dealt with such situations like that before. I didn't even know at first.
Objection? Oh, I don't know where you think you are.
Coming up.
So when someone tells you, hey, de-ice my window, why isn't your answer, huh? Why isn't it, I don't know how to do that, what am I supposed to do?
It worked the first time. I didn't see any problem with it.
And you thought that was fabulous?
Yes.
Reaction to the verdict for Lena. And that is the collapse of Evan's case. The judge is basically saying, I do not know exactly whose arm knocked over the wine, but I know you engineered the situation. That is a huge distinction. She does not have to prove Lena is innocent. Evan has to prove Lena is liable. And he cannot. His own testimony showed that he went there to get attention, asked for Lena's section, brought a date into the mess, grabbed for the phone, and helped trigger the physical chaos. The verdict for the defendant is not just about the spill. It is about the plaintiff failing to overcome the cloud of his own bad motives.
You're watching Emmy-nominated Justice for the People with Judge Millian. We're back with the case of Derek Fremont, who brought Jay Connolly to court for property damage.
Where are you from?
I'm from California.
Which part of California?
Los Angeles.
It's all sunny. All right, so okay, have you ever had a car in the north?
No.
So when someone tells you, hey, de-ice my window, why isn't your answer, huh? Why isn't it, I don't know how to do that, what am I supposed to do?
Well, given my situation, I didn't want to have to deal with him being erratic towards me, because usually, even in college, he does have a bit of an erratic, more frantic type
Wait, but if you don't know how to, what was your plan? When someone tells you, hey, de-ice my, what was your plan? Do you know what you're supposed to do, or do you not?
Well, at first, I was going to scoop up the ice from the windshield.
Okay, so you were doing the thing everybody does.
Yes.
And then what?
When the scooping didn't work out at first, I thought maybe, at first when I did it the first time, when we were going to Brooklyn, I thought of why not put water in a mug, put it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and then slowly pour it all on the windshield. And it worked the first time. I didn't see any problem with it.
And you thought that was fabulous?
Yes, I didn't see any.
You wondered why everyone doesn't do that?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
And then what?
Then the
The
second,
second
time, I
time,
did it, the second
when you're
time I did it,
leaving,
Transition into second case. Now we shift from relationship revenge to what might be one of the fastest ways to turn a frozen windshield into a $1,000 mistake. Derek Fremont says his former roommate Jay cracked his windshield by pouring boiling water over it to remove ice. Jay's defense is not that the glass did not crack. His defense is basically, I thought I was helping. And that is where this case gets interesting. Courts deal with this kind of question all the time. If someone agrees to do a favor, can they still be responsible if they do it badly? Friendship may explain why the task started, but it does not automatically erase responsibility when property gets damaged.
I did it again,
but this time with a kettle full of boiling water.
Yes.
How'd that go?
Well, when I poured it on more fast than last time. So aftermath of it was that it left a crack. It left a crack across the windshield, and I was surprised by it because it didn't do that before. I had no idea it would
Where'd you
do
guys go to
that.
college?
Syracuse,
Right.
upstate New York.
This is Physics 101.
Judge Million's verdict when justice for the people returns. You're watching Emmy-nominated Justice for the People with Judge Million.
Did you go over them? This is what I want you to do. Turn on the car, there's a defrost button, put that on, and then start hitting it with the ice. I'll be right back.
I just assumed that asking a friend for a favor would have a responsibility to act
So this
reasonably.
really there's a $1,000 bill for replacing the windshield, right? And you think he should pay it, and you think he should pay it. And what this really falls on is, whose fault is this? Is it his fault for not explaining it to you? Or is it your fault for not saying, I'm gonna need you to explain it to me? And saying, sure. And then just coming up with your own ways that defy physics to pour boiling water on where did you even see that? I mean, like, if you're gonna do something like that to someone's car, wouldn't you take 2 seconds and look it up or something?
At the moment, I was not thinking about that.
I'll say.
Again, I didn't want to have to deal with him.
Instead of, if you don't know what you're doing, don't take the responsibility to do it. Once you take the responsibility to do it, you gotta do it competently. And